Welcome to Geordie Lass Doc Sass. One day, a Geordie and a Canadian walk into a bar and decide to start a podcast about relationships, and what a topic that is. No subjects are off limits. Get in touch today with us at geordielass.com or email info@geordielass.com and let us know what you think and what we should talk about. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I'm good. I paddled for the first time with my second board. I've had some board sort of changes in the Aegean Sea off of Athens. I'm kind of getting my butt kicked a little bit, but but it's okay. I'm now in new waters, guys. It's very exciting. Everybody knows that where my paddle is where I call home. Oh, yes.
What I want to know, though, is have you been attended by any emergency services recently?
Oh, my gosh, it's so funny. Back in New York, I would have like the NYPD choppers, ground, and boats after me being like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just exercising," which is a bit unusual for the Americans. Sorry. Here, no, but I may, because again, women doing all sorts of things. I don't know if it's going to shock people here. Not yet, thank God. I do have a lot of Greek men who come up to me and say, "Can I pump up your board for you? Because that seems hard."
Does that mean something else?
I suppose. It's very cute because they're in their Speedos. No. I think it's very genuine. They're like, "Let me be chivalrous." I'm like, "No, it's okay. I've got this." But yeah, let me pump your board up.
I'm sure they want to pump something else up, Anna.
Oh, yeah, you've got it. You've got it.
She's hot to trot now that she's on the other side.
Oh, I tell you, just blowing minds. Oh, yeah. So it's all good here. How about in Jersey? What's going on?
Good. Yeah, it's good. I went to the cinema yesterday and had a lovely coffee afterwards and a nice catch up with a friend. Always feels so nice, doesn't it?
Oh.
And it was the perfect afternoon for just a nice movie because the weather was a bit blustery and windy and chilly outside. It will soon be time to dig out the winter woolies, I think. So it was lovely to just sit inside and
coffee and cinema. Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Treat myself to a pick and mix.
Oh.
Like the 5-year-old that I am.
Oh my gosh, going to a candy store and like the big red cinnamon shoes. Oh, I tell you. Pick and mix. Oh, that sounds awesome. Oh,
yeah, it was nice. It's a nice treat. We had a lovely weekend, actually. I had some nice time with my man as well, some much-needed connection time. And, and lots more cooking on the Thermomix. I'm going to become quite boring, actually. I think my friends will soon disown me.
No, I swear to God, you're going to be the house where you want to go eat. Yeah. Test kitchen. That sounds awesome. Ooh.
Yeah. Yum. Scrum.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talking of cooking and stirring stuff up, what's going on at the relationship desk of love?
Well, it's funny you should ask because there is actually, this is a food-related love desk.
Oh, snap.
So, what have I got for you today? Today's love desk. This couple shocked their wedding guests by serving McDonald's at the reception.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm like, wait, is that not brilliant? Okay, go on. Wait a minute.
So they said, "We were certainly a little afraid of the reactions of aunts and uncles. But the guests to this wedding in France this month were met with quite a surprise during the reception. And no, we're not talking about Love is Blind. Instead, the guests were shocked to discover that the catering at the wedding reception came courtesy of McDonald's."
What? Okay, in France of all places. Wait, is there a different... Does McDonald's mean something different in France?
No.
Like great cheeses and caviar? Seriously? Okay, I got to hear more. What's going on?
Yeah, so they said, so there was a video that went viral on TikTok, and it said in this video, we see a man carrying bags of McDonald's to a table. As it becomes clear he's serving up lots of McDonald's, the stunned wedding guests started to cheer and clap.
Oh. Okay, so for everybody who like pays $120, $30 per plate for a wedding guest, they're like, "Oh, you mean I could have some delivery person come in and just hand out bags of Big Macs?"
Yeah, apparently so. So they said, "We had this big idea and we're big fans of McDonald's," and jokingly said, "When we were younger, that we would have McDonald's at our wedding. Eventually we decided to go for it. And people who know us weren't surprised.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you have to have a bit of a baseline personality to pull this off then. Oh my gosh. Wow.
It just raise the question though, right? Like who's to say, well, A, what you should serve at your wedding? I think it's entirely up to you. But like, if you went to a wedding and they served at McDonald's and you were kind of disgusted and horrified and like, how could you complain? Like somebody's literally giving you a free meal.
I mean, and what are we doing these big cater things for? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Big question. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's actually
So anybody getting married soon, consider McDonald's for your
food. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm like, because now we're near dinner hour together and I'm like, damn, I'm hungry. That sounds great.
Me too. I have to say, I'm not a big McDonald's fan, but I mean, I would clearly eat it if it was there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not either, but I'm like, I could do for a Big Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I just endorsed McDonald's and that without money. God. Ugh, scrub that from the record. Terrible. I endorse olive oil.
Sorry, we're making do all kinds of things on this podcast, Anna.
My God. My ethics are
You've
being
only got
breached.
to go back and listen to the back episodes.
Oh my God, totally.
To find out exactly what we've made Anna do.
Completely. Oh, I tell you.
All right. Shall we do a hot topic now?
Yeah. Yes, let's do it.
I can move you away from McDonald's discussions. Okay. Today's hot topic. How does spitefulness show up in your relationship?
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. All like ridiculous. I'm having flashbacks. Okay, Sarah, start us off.
So I think, following on, I guess, from kind of some of the stuff we talked about last week on the podcast around, we talked about this kind of anxious attachment style and insecurities in relationships. Like a lot of that can stem from kind of needs not being met, feeling unhappy, genuinely feeling like you're kind of not where you want to be in your relationship. The reaction, a lot of the time, can be spitefulness, right?
Oh, you've got it. I mean, we are very unkind and mean to the people we love the most because somehow we feel that we deserve it and they can take it.
Yeah.
But when we flip that and somebody's spiteful and mean to us, we're like, I can't take it and I don't deserve that. Something David Schnark, now deceased, sex therapist, he actually called, it was very controversial, I think. He called it normal marital sadism. A lot of the stuff that we don't even think we're being spiteful or mean or cruel, he's like, that is sadism. You know exactly what you're doing. You're, I don't know. No. When you keep doing that thing or you don't do that thing. Yeah. So I think we're more spiteful than we think. We are more cruel than we think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the forms is being passive aggressive. And, we can all hold our hands up and say, actually, yeah, I've probably done that.
Holding my hand up.
And another area is about kind of withdrawal or kind of holding back on things, and that might come in the form of affection, conversation, sex. Or it can come in kind of all manners of ways. It can come in the fact that actually I'm going to deliberately plan my whole diary so that I haven't got any space to be able to see you. That's a form of spitefulness, right? Because I'm deliberately withholding my time so that we don't have any time to connect.
Because I know that it's important for you and important for us that we connect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choke the oxygen off of the thing. Yes.
Yeah. And I think the more kind of meaner side when we see kind of spitefulness is where we deliberately want to do something to hurt the other person. So I think those kind of I think the withdrawing, the withholding, the kind of planning, so much that we're kind of too full to the kind of capacity, I don't think they're kind of obvious spiteful signs, but then we can get some real obvious, moves that we make, which are, I'm deliberately going to try and do something to get my own back because I feel hurt or wronged or, actually I feel like you deserve it because you've done something that I'm in, imagining that you've done something to me. You know, you may or may not have done, as we talked about last week. You know, my interpretation of things might not always be on the money. But in this moment, I'm interpreting that you've done something really terrible to me, and I'm going to get my own back.
You've got it. I think, though, the unconscious spitefulness is where we probably need more attention. It sounds crazy. Because when I hear things, and I've said them, that was not my intention. I can't change that thing. That's just me being me. When we don't realize we're being spiteful, then it means we have no control. So what it means is I can't show up any differently, and therefore we're at an impasse. If I absolutely, is it true that I cannot speak your love language to save my life? Like, you've told me repeatedly you like physical touch, and yet I give you words of affirmation because that's my love language. I repeatedly starve you of physical touch. And I'm like, oh, I just don't know. I just can't. Oh, I keep forgetting, whatever. No, you don't keep forgetting. I mean, that's not unintentional. Or like, I keep being late. It really gets under somebody's skin. If we say we can't do any different, then there's nothing we can do. It's totally out of our control. So honestly, it's a real gift to get onto ourselves to realize you're doing that on purpose. And maybe it's because you're hurt and you're scared of rejection, so you don't want to get vulnerable. Totally. But realize it is something you can change. You can become more considerate. You really can.
Yeah. Yeah. And the lateness thing for me, like, that showed up massively in our relationship at the start. And I cannot abide by it.
How did that, because it's the dog, it's the traffic, it's the whatever. So how did you call that to be like, no, that is something you can change? What was that like?
Just said it straight. Like, you've got a choice whether you show up on time or not. Like, who's to say that your time is more valuable than my time?
And did you notice that there was behavior shifting?
Oh, yeah, eventually, yeah.
I mean, obviously.
We're 8 years in now. And
Wow. And do you notice that your partner might be late for some people, but is absolutely not late for you? Do you notice?
Oh, well, never late for golf, Anna.
Oh, interesting. And the thing is, you may not pick up that discrepancy, but your partner sure as hell does. Like, you're nice to all of your family and friends, but you're not nice to me. Yeah. Oh, no, but whatever. It's like, I got eyes and ears. I can see. Yeah. I can see that you're treating me differently. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he has fixed his lateness for sure. He's nowhere near in the same kind of league. Although now we live together, so now when we're going out, it's kind of like there's a countdown clock that goes on.
Oh, good.
And I'm pretty sure that it actually annoys the fuck out of him. But, you know, there's a countdown clock between kind of for the last sort of 20 minutes. It's kind of like, right, it's 20 minutes to go. 15 minutes to go. So I imagine I'm quite annoying, but...
No, but listen, it's important.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think it's when you are feeling like your boundary is not being met, it's a way of how to communicate. But let's just say that somebody says you're being spiteful and you're like, I don't see it. I think the harder thing is, what do you have to say to that person who is being told by their partner that they feel like they're being passive aggressive and spiteful, and you're like, I don't think I am. What's your advice? What
I would say is describe the situation and describe your interpretation of it, and then kind of describe it in a different way. So often I find it for one, nobody likes to be told that they've done something that's not nice, right? If you said to somebody, do you think you're a spiteful person? You're probably going to say no. Right? Because nobody's going to go, yeah, actually, I'm a real mean bugger. You know, I'm always... You're just not going to do it, are you? So, you know, generally, we don't want to kind of think bad of ourselves. So we will dress things up in such a way that we can almost kind of like excuse the behaviour and dress it up in a certain way that everything that we're doing just becomes acceptable. So the easiest way, I think, is to position something so that it can't then be kind of, you get that instant defence mechanism that comes back. So if I say to you, look, I think you were really spiteful yesterday, then you're probably going to say, well, no, I wasn't. How do you make that out? What makes you think that I'm being spiteful? And you can probably explain away your behaviour quite easily.
Yes.
No matter what the situation, we're all massively, massively capable of that.
Totally.
So you have to set up the conversation in such a way that is, you know, look, I noticed that this kind of happened yesterday, it felt a little bit kind of, on the edge of mean, if I'm honest. And, that might just be my interpretation of it. I'm wondering what was going on for you. Were you kind of, did you have some feelings going on? Did I do something that maybe upset you before that? And that's why kind of, you may have reacted in a slightly different way. Because I'm giving you permission then to say, actually, yeah, you were right, Sod, yesterday, and this is what you did, this is how it made me feel, and then I retaliated in this way.
I love it because the benign question of what were you feeling? Because I'm like, oh shit, you're on to me. Because I can be like, oh, I didn't have time, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you ask me that, I'm like, yeah, I was pissed off because you know that I don't like it when you do this, and you did that. Yeah. Now, I can explain a way that I did not act on that impulse, but if you ask me what were you feeling, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I was feeling that thing.
Yeah.
And I guess it did come out in my behavior because I thought I was trying to hide it.
Yeah.
I don't do that well. Yeah.
Well, none of us do.
None of us do.
Just because we think that kind of our partner doesn't see something, feel something, hear something, just get a general sense about something, because they don't say it, doesn't actually mean that they're not thinking or feeling or sensing something. It's just they haven't shared that back with you.
Yeah.
Like we think we get away with behaviour that's bad. We don't.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Yes. This is all true. Oh man. There's two choices in life. You either full on express your displeasement, like in a way that is like, look, I was really hurt by what you said there, or you decide to not make it a big deal and emotionally regulate and soothe the crap out of yourself to be like, you got two choices, but you can't let it leak around the sides to be like, well, I'm not going to say something outright, but I'm not also going to be like, Anna, that thing happened and you're going to suck it up and you are going to, and it's a choice. I mean, I'm not saying whether it's a good or a bad choice. We all have choices, but like, is that the hill you want to die on? Because if so, bring it out and be like, that was shitty. It made me feel awful. Etc.
Yeah. I think the other thing I'd say, the like kind of last point, I guess, before we move on to the question is when you're about to do something that you know is probably a little bit on the kind of meaner side of life, consider, how would I feel if my partner did this to me?
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking of an instance right now. I'm like, ooh, shitty. Super shitty.
Because you then get to a position where you call yourself out on your own bad behaviour. You don't need somebody else to do it. And it almost acts as a bit of a kind of, I guess, a regulation mechanism that says, actually, I'm going to regulate my own behaviour by not being a dick. And, I'm going to stop myself from doing something that's just downright not so nice.
Mm-hmm. Gosh. Oh, we could do this topic reprised again and again.
Everyone sat there thinking about the last thing that they did. That was probably a little bit
I mean, I'm
like,
I will say that I'm doing a lot better in this current, but it's still early days, right? Like there's been some challenges and triggers and trials, but like, it's a marathon, hopefully another half a century. I don't know how long we'll live, but like, so I'm going to have to, turning the tables around. And then you remember, God, I love this person. I don't want to make them feel so terrible.
But that's the thing though, right? Like, you got to come back to that. You're on the same team, you love each other, you're here for a reason. So, don't be mean.
Don't be mean. All right.
Okay.
I won't.
We'll save you from yourself. Would you like a question instead?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. Question. My partner and I seem to disagree on everything lately. How can we work through conflicts and disagreements in a healthy way and prevent them from causing bigger problems further down the road?
I hope this is sort of like I'm just going to sort of say where I'm headed. The thing like here, and I'm curious to see the way the question and what we always think about is that like it's all about the thing, the laundry. The childcare, the cooking, the bill paying, you talk to your friends too much. But it's not about the thing. It's when you start picking fights with each other, it's like, why are we picking fights with each other?
Well, I'm picking fights because I want attention. And I want
And that's the
attention
thing.
because there's
Yes.
something that's not present in the relationship that I want.
Or I'm not happy.
Yeah.
But that's a controversial point. It might have nothing to do with a relationship, but if you find yourself picking fights, same as you're in a job and nothing is wrong, nothing is whatever, but you find yourself picking fights and now you've got a manager problem and now you've got like a compensation problem. But really probably what had happened was it's probably time for a new job because you had reached the end of your challenges and it was time for something new. Not that we necessarily do that with relationship, but honestly, actually, in a long-term relationship, sometimes we're just bored and restless.
Yeah.
But we want to turn something into something bad. So it's something to like, when really what we're looking for is we need change. Not necessarily a new partner, but we need some sort of change.
Do you not think sometimes as well, like if maybe I feel like I've got an issue, but it doesn't feel like a massive issue, therefore I don't really feel kind of justified in bringing it up. So if I create all these other bigger issues, then it means that we'll have to talk about the relationship.
I like it. Yes.
So
yes.
it's
All the
almost
time.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I suppose like little toddler having a little kind of, having a major meltdown about something.
About
because of something
string cheese.
tiny, yeah. I always remember my daughter, God.
Who's now an extremely functional adult in a prestigious university. It's amazing.
She is, yes. But we had this situation one morning on the way to nursery. And for any parents out there, I'm sure you'll sympathise with the morning routine and the stress of having to get yourself to work, get a child to nursery, everybody be fully dressed and fed and clean and all of those things. And trying to do it in a calm way where everyone feels happy. It's quite a challenge.
Oh.
So this one morning, I kind of thought we were doing okay. Get in the car, and she was having a banana on the way to nursery, and the banana broke in half. You would think it was the end of the world.
Oh, what happened?
So, so we managed to have a little small reprieve because I put the rest of the skin back up the banana so she could still hold it. And we got by. We got by. We survived it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, so sometimes we can have these kind of major catastrophes that happen. We have this major, outpour of emotion and just distressed behaviour. And it might be that there's just kind of a small thing that's happening, but we've had to make it into something bigger to get the kind of required attention.
Yeah.
Which is ludicrous when you think about it.
Well, I mean, we are still kindergartners, like all of us. I gotta understand that our impulses, like our meltdowns in the supermarket aisle, are much the same.
Yeah.
We just
Except
sounds
more people stare.
Yes, gosh, yeah. So that is true. The meltdowns are real. So, okay, so if you were to sort of think about this and you were to sort of ask somebody and coach somebody, like what would you ask them to start to get behind the thing?
So I'd want to understand kind of, it talks about kind of, we're having lots of arguments. The first thing I'd want to understand is how true is it that, because often we can say like, we're having loads of arguments, it's getting worse. All right, how do we check that is kind of, valid information for a start? How often are you arguing? How, what is being the kind of increase of frequency? How do you know that it's increased? Have you been kind of, collecting any information? Because we don't do that, right? I used to always say kind of, you could tell how happy I was in my life between the spaces in between my journal. So I have to say I've got out of the habit of journaling full stop recently, but I would only write in it when I was really kind of pissed off or angry or upset or sad. So if there was kind of long spaces of time, then it meant that actually my life was probably going pretty well. But we need something to kind of help us get some perspective and some understanding. I'd really look back on some of the kind of last couple of arguments that have happened. Why is it that they came up? And, what were some of the things that were happening before that? Because it's all about what's leading up to a situation. It's often not about the situation itself.
Oh, yeah.
I think the other thing I'd work on with this person is intercepting the arguments. And I think this is something that we aren't that great at, But it's one of the kind of real skills in a relationship if you can start to master it, because we're only ever going to say horrible things to each other during an argument.
Yes.
You know, we don't say like, oh, we're arguing, we're kind of screaming blue murder at each other, but by the way, I love you.
No, gosh.
You know, we rarely kind of say that. And I think to stop things from escalating and to allow you a bit of time to just come back down to earth, take a breath and come at things in a much more rational manner, the trick is, how do I intercept the argument before we go from 0 to 100?
Ah, yeah. And actually for that, I've worked with couples in terms of coming up with safe words. And this sounds, you know, it's with variable success. But what's really, really important is there's different processing speeds. Some people need to go away and think because they'll say, look, I'm angry right now. If I let this loose without filtering, I'll really say something hurtful.
Yeah.
The other person doesn't want to let the issue rest and wants to kind of keep, you know, biting until they get their answer. It's very important to say, look, let this be like a lampshade moment. The lampshade moment means this is getting too hot. Can we reconvene tomorrow and be a real tomorrow, not just like kicking the can and
absolutely. You have to
real,
come back and visit it. Yeah.
Yes.
I think the other thing that can be quite helpful is to say, this never works out for us.
Yeah.
When we do the thing that we're doing now, it never works out well for us. Can we just kind of take a break?
Yeah. And that's
Because
actually...
that's that realisation that actually I'm recognising this doesn't ever work for us. We're never, you know, we never come out the other side of it in a good position in the short term.
Oh, that's brilliant because rational people would have to have some sort of insight to themselves to be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally true. I think, you know, I would like to, though, you know, sort of in a deeper level is like to kind of connect to somebody to their sense of restlessness. That's kind of that restlessness and agitation. Like, what is that thing that gets you in the ring and you're just, you know, and it may be hard to sort of pinpoint this, but like, what's that thing that kind of comes into your mind or your intuition when you're kind of, no, you've got two choices. You can either make a big deal out of this loading the dishwasher, or you can let it fly, or maybe be like, hey, you know that thing, could you not do that?
Yeah.
There's a sentiment of this is so unfair, or he knows that this bugs me, or I don't feel understood, I don't feel loved. Sometimes you can kind of drill down to like a big feeling statement that is underneath this, which gets to the relationship, like you mentioned, like, if you don't fundamentally feel loved or respected or held, like there's probably a grand sweeping statement like my partner is not emotionally there for me.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, shit. Okay, no wonder you're picking fights.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
If that's how you feel, that's a horrible way to feel. But you're not giving your partner any opportunity to get to that, which is the source, because you keep talking about the pickup times for school.
Yeah. I think this is one of the hardest areas for couples to really kind of get to grips with. And what I would say is it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of practice. So I would say don't give up, because I think all too often we kind of go, this just isn't working. Like we're arguing like cats and dogs. It's just really unpleasant. Like, and I'm not saying we're talking about kind of conventional regular relationships here. We're not talking about dangerous situations. So, you know, the average relationship we're talking about and the kind of, you know, the conflict that comes up and arises. So what I would say is, you know, just try a few things, like try and change things, try and do kind of some interception, try and do some exploratory kind of reflection on some of the stuff that's come up and is happening, and maybe think about what's the actual root cause of this. But just focus on a few things and try and make some small steps. And try to look for some good in your partner as well. Like when we really hate them and we're arguing, you know, like it's really hard to think of the nice good things, you know.
I know.
I think we should often, when we are in a good space, remember, goes back to that kind of journal and think, right, like we should remember to write down some good stuff as well.
Yes. Yes.
You know, because then when when you hate them and you don't even want to lie next to them, then in those moments, it's nice to have something to read back to go, oh, actually, that was pretty sweet when he said that or did that, or do like them really.
Oh, yes. That sort of feeling should not be reserved for the initial lust-driven parts of relationship. We should be able to access this throughout.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
So we made it through.
We made it through. How's your night looking? As we have been recording, the nighttime has been slowly. I can see that dusk has happened.
I am literally like glowing up
Are you
on
in the dark?
screen. Yeah,
I know,
am pretty
I know.
much in the dark, yeah.
Totally.
So it's kind of like, well, we're nearly through. It's fine. It's getting up to put the light on.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, I am sitting
looking
here.
very romantic, though, I have to say.
I'm sitting here in the dark. I look like I'm kind of lit up by a candle, but I'm not. I'm just lit up by the screen.
Well, we always said we wanted to do a nighttime vibe.
I know.
So that's exactly what we're doing.
It's getting that way.
Exactly.
Yes. So
Well.
it's off for dinner time for me.
Me too. Gonna go and hop off and have something with olive oil. Cannot get sick of it. Cannot.
It's not going to get boring for you, is it?
No, my God, I could do every day. I'm an old Greek man. I could do Greek coffee in the morning and olive oil with sausages in the night. Oh, every night.
Sounds like a good combo.
Indeed. All right.
Till next time.
Till next time.
So that's it for another week of Geordie Lass and Doc Sass. We hope you've enjoyed listening as much as we've enjoyed chatting. Get in touch and share your questions for relationship remedies and any hot topics you want us to cover. If you need help navigating all things relationships, Anna and Sarah are available for one-on-one coaching support. Email info@geordielass.com. Please remember to like, share, subscribe if you've enjoyed listening. And if you've not, how on earth have you made it this far? I promise we'll try harder next time.